Okay, good day everyone. My name is Adibo Kenechukwu Franklin and I'm here to present my project known as the Log Analyzer. The Log Analyzer is a Python based tool made to read system security logs, extract distinct events like account creation and privilege use, isolate the metadata, and compile a final security report. Now, without further ado, we'll move straight to my code and then see what happens and how it extracts its logs. Okay, so by default, the security log is already positioned at the path slash var slash um, log slash auth dot log. This is the path leading to the security log in which we would use for our log analysis. We then want to move over to this section which focuses on using another log path provided that the user knows what he or she is doing. If he doesn't want to use the default log path, the user can decide to use um, another log file in which he or she had created for personal specific purposes. Um, Provided that it exists, it would continue along with the code. But if it doesn't exist, that's what this block of code is for. It acts as a safety guardrail to prevent um, any sudden code crash. If the file does not exist, um, it will return an error saying that the log file doesn't exist. And please, I would want to correct myself on what I said earlier. The code does not continue. I misspoke. It crashes there on the spot. If this block of code wasn't there. But since this block of code is there, it will treat it as an error and then it would throw this out, prompting the user to making the user either impute the right path or just simply go with the default log file. Okay, now okay, now the script uses basic console diagnostics using time.ctime to timestamp the analysis window. This is what is responsible for timestamping. Okay, we will now move on to the next section of the code. This variable is timestamp underscore pattern. What this simply does is that it matches the timestamping. Okay, we now want to move over to this is simply the counters used for the summary is of the audits logged from the files from the log file. This is used in for track for dictionary IP tracking. Any IP that the script presumably gets from the auth.log file as a result of logging information, it records it here. Okay, so this is simply the function to extract the timestamps based on the auth.log file. As you can see, this is the re search to use it as a match variable. If it finds something similar to okay, this is simply a function within the Python script that enables the extraction of a timestamp. This is the function used in extracting the timestamp. This is the function used in extracting the IP within the auth.log file. We also have this function used in extracting the usernames of an auth.log file. We have this function used in extracting the sudo command. Okay, for this section of the file, here here this line of code enables the log file to be opened as a read only, enabling whatever it is in which we want to extract or take note of or analyze to be done. Okay, so for this, we now want to move over to our first operation, which is to detect any field logins. Provided specific conditions are met, like if a password imputed by the user was filled in a particular line, or there was an authentication failure in a particular line within the file, within the auth.log file, um, it would flag its timestamp as well as its IP that was used in logging in. But in a scenario in which it had a successful login detection, the same thing would apply. The same thing would apply, but only if it's detecting, only if the password is accepted, or there's an accepted public key, or the session is opened within the line within the auth.log file. It will then print out the timestamp and the name of the user. Okay, we now move over to the alert section where a condition in which sudo is in the line is in one of the lines of the file of the auth.log file. We now have an authentication failure within the auth.log file in the same line that the sudo is in. It will then flag an alert saying that there was a failed attempt, there was a failed sudo attempt in the timestamp recorded within that line. We now also have successful sudo usage. If a command using sudo was successful, it would detect it through using through analyzing the line within the file, and then output the timestamp as well as the sudo command used. For the su command usage, it will just detect whether there's an su statement within the line, within any of the lines of the file system of the auth.log file, and then it would print out the sudo. It would print out the command used as well as the timestamp. We now have the another one, which is used to detect the users added. So simply put it like this: in within any of the lines of the log file, if for any instance with it detects the statement user add in any of the lines, um the new user which is added will be printed out as well as the timestamp. We now also have another one which is the user deleted. For any line in which has the user del statement within it, the deleted user will be outputted as well as the timestamp. We now have password change. For any line in which there's an occurrence of the string pass wd, it will print out the password changed and the timestamp. Okay, so for suspicious IP detection, it simply uses this function to be imputed into this variable. Okay, so let's look at it. It says IP for IP to now count the number of attempts. If the number of attempts, okay, so basically it's simply saying that if the attempts if the attempts of logins, if the login attempts exceed more than 3 times for an IP, it is declared as suspicious, and it will be flagged, it will be signaled at the end of the report. Okay, so this is simply the section that is used for printing out the final reports, what everything would look like in the end. For this line, we have the field logins, the amount of field logins that are present within the file, the auth.log file. We have successful logins within the auth.log file. We'll be able to also see the sudo usage, the sudo command usage is used, the amount of times the sudo command was used within the auth.log file. We'll see the failed sudo attempts within the auth.log file. We'll also see the IP attempts by various online IPs trying to connect to us, whether they are valid or not, does not matter. To show us all the IPs and the attempts. To now flag out the suspicious IPs, those IPs that failed 3 times. It will be imputed here, and then the reports will be saved in this section. Okay, so with all that said and done, we'll just put this to the test and we'll demonstrate it. Okay, as you can see, we've gotten a lot of logs analysis. Our analytics have given us if a failed sudo attempt, an alert, a sudo command used, which was sudo shutdown. We have an su state. We have is su command used at so 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 time. We have a failed login at so 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 time, but the IP was known, so this could have been predicted that it could have been from the system itself. There were no other external IPs trying to connect to our systems. We also have various of users deleted at so 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 time. Okay, we now have the final reports, which give us a conclusion of failed logins, which were 4, successful logins, which are 0 from external IPs. There were no external IPs connected to this user. We have 14 sudo usages. We have we have 2 failed sudo attempts. So far, we have no IP. We have no IPs that try to connect to our systems from an external network. We have no suspicious IPs because no IP tried to connect to us. And all of these have been saved into a custom-made .log report file. We'll look at this and see what is contained inside. As you can see, this is what it's giving us. Log reports for Sunday, June 21st, time 1:05 p.m. 2026. Okay, as you can see, it has given us a summary of all the log analytics which we had initiated. Thank you for your time and have a good day. I hope you found this insightful. Thank you.